Hello and welcome back to the channel where we are building a video game from scratch using Love2d and Lua. We're basically done with the demo. And I've been saying that for months, but it is true. We have very few things to fix. One thing we can fix is... the bug where our weather system doesn't get reset upon a death. So if we die on a screen with the weather system, so let's just go to the dark forest here. So if we die here, and we continue, we've got rain in the castle. So that's what we're going to try to fix, because we did not know of that bug until yesterday. I'm going to test saving first, because it is also, you know, not a traditional save point. It's like one of the only it is the only non-manual save point in the game. Is right there after the cinematic, so I just saved it myself, and we're gonna see. Yeah, still okay. Okay, so we can definitely fix this. So we get to take a look at our weather system and how it works. So we have a dot weather, I want to say. Yeah, see how each one of these scenes has a weather type. So there's a definition here where we say weather is a particle system equal to a string equal to light sand, heavy sand, light rain, heavy rain, whatever, blizzard, whatever. But we need to take... Well, we need to nullify our dot weather. Well, see, how do we do this? Because right now what's happening is we assign the weather when we scene transition into a scene. So if we're walking into a scene that has a dot weather of anything, you know, because like we initialize them all nil. Then if we're transitioning into the scene with weather, then that's when we assign whatever is in that weather table to be the particle system for the weather system, for how we have that. So I should say, since our save Zazen idol isn't in a scene with weather, we can get away with a slightly easier fix. But if in the future we have a scene that we save it at that has a weather system, if we clear the weather system, we'd have to make sure to load the current scene's weather system. So that's the approach I think we should take, as opposed to just, hey, game over, you hit continue, clear the weather system regardless, because if by the time we're going to go start the game, we need to make sure that the weather system gets initialized upon a scene start. I don't know what you would call it. Just, yeah, a fresh start. So there is a thing. Shoot, man. Oh, and Salto, this color scheme, and I'm still like trying out different settings and stuff, but my new operating system has this thing that I gave it the Sekijo wallpaper, and it pulled all of these colors out of that image. So all of those colors are from the background image of Sekijo, and it's just cool that it covers through NeoVim. And in my LSP, like, everything is like coded to the freaking colors of the background, which I think is just really cool. So, it's just awesome. It's cool. Yeah. So like it looks like if we were to, here, let's see if we can't really, the way Hyperland is kind of set up is that it defaults to full screen everything. So I can't really just like show you half, but you can see the colors kind of just go together with it, right? And then it's transparent behind. But yeah, Hyperland's the tiling manager that auto does all of this stuff for me. Okay. Oh, and the good news is we fixed the full screen bug on Linux, and it came down to just pulling the window width and window height from the desktop dimensions. So that's the fix, except I don't like it full screen when I'm developing, so we're gonna keep it windowed. Okay, so enough messing around. Let's go fix our thing. We have a dot weather system. And the way we do it, see, and this is kind of like, we're not trying to clear the weather table on a given scene, because that's the nice, dude. I'm glad you like it. I liked it too. I liked it so much. I thought it was just very, very cool, because the old method I had to do this with, I have to dig down into the code for the theme and go into each individual thing and change the hex value to be a manual thing, which is what I did for for my old color theme, but it fucking sucked ass. So now I can swap back and forth and generate new colors on the fly. Like, you can send me a brand new backdrop for the stream. I could put it on right now, and then we can generate the code, the color code for it right now. Like, it's really cool. But yeah, we're not trying to overwrite this dot weather, because that's what's holding the string that tells the particle system which weather system to input on a given scene after a transition. But what we're trying to do is take out, like, however we're rendering the weather system, we need to say, okay, well, the weather system we're rendering gets flushed, not the weather of the current scene gets flushed. So that's the kind of subtle difference I'm trying to track down, because we should have, like, I guess we should have like a weather render somewhere. This isn't it. The scene has a particle system. Is that what it is, though? Is this particle system get from the weather? No? Weather in scene transition. Okay. Yeah, it is. Because look, it's pulling. Yeah. It's pulling. Oh, God. Yeah. Because this is what I'm saying is, like, this is the weather table we couldn't flush, because it's saying, hey, if it's a blizzard, then let's go ahead, flush our particle system. Let's put in a snow system and set the emission rate for this given snow system. If no weather in current scene, so this is in the scene. See, but this, the fuck? Because this is what we need, is we need to say, if the weather of the current scene is equal to nil, then we need to set the particle system of our scene to have a 0 emission rate, and the particle system, I guess we could instead just flush the particle system. Because by the time we swap, well, no. Because, yeah, I'm trying to think if we save it. Yeah, if we save it on a scene with weather, then continuing from a game over should reinitialize the current weather system, whether that be empty, whether that be rain, whether it be snow. Okay, so I think this is okay. So we need to find where we're doing the assignment of the weather system, and I think it's just in the finished transition. Where do we do it? I want to say it's here in the scene, but see, so is this says in the scene transition, but all of this, oh my gosh, it is. Yeah, it's in the begin shifting. Okay. So we just need something similar, right? Instead of checking the weather here, it'd be nice if we can pull this out into a method called init weather system or something. And we init the weather system both on a scene transition and on a continue game from a game over. Because then we don't have to copy and paste like 20 lines like this, but we can instead just write a little method and then call the method. So we can stub out the method here and we can just say, you know what, in the begin shifting function, we're going to end up running a method on our scene, and it's going to be called reinit weather. And this is, I call it stubbing out because we don't have it yet. That's not a function that exists. So if we were to write that function, it would be in our scene class. It would be called reinit weather, and it would have inside it all of this stuff, which is the weather reinit. And what it does is it goes to the current scene and it pulls the string that we stored in the .weather table, whether that be blizzard, sand, rain, whatever. It asks what it is. It sets a particle system of the given type with an emission rate appropriate. And we are reinitting it here. Let's just test and make sure the reinit works and we didn't break anything in the scene transition. So as long as we get rain and we lose rain, yeah, that looks right. Okay, so our function works, and it's a method on the current scene. So we just need to run this reinit weather right after we update this scene's map row. So on a game over, we need to kind of do this again. All right, we got this, man. We got this. Okay, so I just don't like, because like the thing is, there's so many ways to die. You could die. You can have a game over in the overworld. You can die in a chasm, and it's also when you load the game. We need to reinit this weather. Oh, so. When would we trigger this? We trigger this, yeah, we just trigger this whenever we effectively load the game from either a death or from a load or whatever. So let's see where we have a continue from a non-chasm death. So we need it here, and we need it after we update the map's current scene. Because this only works if our scenes map row is reset correctly. So where are we? You know, I'm not even seeing where we assign this new map or anything. So I'm a little worried it won't work there. Other than the load player data is probably where it's happening. Okay, we're looking at the load player data. Yes, we do set the scenes map row right there and map column. So that should be it. Since we set that there, we should be able to... I can't figure out how to... Oh, shoot, man. That was not good. There's like 5 contradicting keyboard shortcuts I've got from my old setup, so I'm still just working that out. Okay. So let's try to find where we put this reinit weather. So let's try to put it upon a non-chasm game over. And then if that works, we'll put it for the chasm game over, and then we might just call it there. Might just make a note of it to make sure. Because the only thing I'm worried about is that it wouldn't reinit upon a scene that we saved it at that had a weather system. That's my only hang up with it. But it would work because we only have Zazen idols on non-weather scenes at the moment. So let's go to our non-chasm game over death, whatever we call it, death. Continue from a non-chasm. Okay, so after load player data, and maybe we just put it in the load player data. Like, hey, we're loading the player data. Go ahead and just flush the system on the current scene. I guess that does kind of make sense, right? I mean, if we're going to put it... Because there's no time where we're going to load the player data and not want the current scene's weather system, right? So we'll just put it here. And we have a scene view. We have a global scene view here. So we're just going to go to the end of our load player data method, and we're going to run on... We have to run it on our scene view, because that's the scene object, and we're going to say scene view, and we're going to run our method of reinit weather. Right? And as long as the scene view is an actual scene, it should work, because the scene view has a current map. Is that right? Scene view has a current map. Yeah. Okay. Let's try it. Okay, so we have our water, so we're going to try to die here. Oh, what the dude. Oh, no. Well, more bugs for us, man. Since I added collision to the geckos, they can now get knocked out of bounds, which is not great. It worked. It worked, right? But it worked... It worked by setting the emission rate to 0, and then every existing particle just faded. So it worked. Just didn't work great. We need to clear the particle system instead of doing what we're doing, which is setting the emission rate. We need to clear the particle system. I want to say it's called clear. I've got to look up the freaking documentation for it. Reset? Removing existing particles and resetting lifetime. Yeah, so reset. So particle system reset. Okay. That should be all we need. But we need it very specifically. And we do it. So would we put this in the method for our scene? Probably. Right here in the reinit weather, instead of just setting the emission rate, we want to clear the particle system. So we do want to set the emission rate, but we want to say, see, and how does this work? Particle, dude, okay. Who coded this? Because look, our scene has got a particle system table that has a thing in it. And we're saying at index 1, we're going to go to the P systems table in that first index. And then we're going to run the set emission rate on that thing. So I think we need something up here when we say, okay, well, if there is a weather, if there's a weather in the current thing, we're going to go into that, our scene's particle system, and we're going to say, okay, well, it's not nil, so let's get us the first particle system that's in there. And we're going to go to the P systems table, and this is why I hate how I named this. But then we're going to do not a reinit, but a reset method call right there. And that right there should hopefully reset it so that we don't get the fade. We just get a complete reset of our particle system. So let's see. Okay, well, we need a particle system in there to actually reset. Didn't work. It did not work. Okay. So what is happening? Because look, we say if there's no weather in the current scene, let's go ahead and do that. So I mean, let's just try to particle system reset here if there's no weather in the current scene as well. I would think that the other one would catch it because we died on a scene with a weather particle system, so I thought that would be good enough, but maybe not. Okay, that worked. That worked. Do we need it then? Do we need it here? Do we need the reset here? Because I think it's only resetting if there's no particle system in the current scene once we reinit weather, which is after we've reinitted our scene. So that should be good. Yeah, the music is kind of growing on me. The only thing is that, you know, it's just a little too repetitive, so I want to make it a little less repetitive. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. Let's check our git diff real quick. There's a lazy git that I never use, and I want to maybe start using it. But what is it? There we go. Okay, so we are looking at what we've changed, and it looks like okay, for whatever reason, I'm gonna have to get used to that. I'm looking for a cleaner, I just want to see what I changed. So in this git commit, we did fix this. I'm going to leave that commented out. All we did was add a reinit weather to our scene. And all that does is reset the particle system. So I'm going to get rid of this. See, like, why, like, what, git, lazy git doesn't show me a clean diff like this? I've got to figure it out. But yeah, we're going to take this out. We're going to just go ahead and commit this. Did we really change all that? The hell, we made 4... Oh, it's because they were already tracked. Okay. Well, that's kind of messing me up now. They're already tracked. At least stuff like the entity was. See, this is like a big nothing. Yeah, we just added the path, we added a collideCount, we added a slower walk speed, faster walk speed. Okay, this is fine. I'm gonna have to learn Git fugitive or whatever this is. Okay. Okay, we're gonna commit, and this is bad because we found a bug in fixing a bug, and it's way worse than this one that was to fix. So we're gonna say here, this was kind of two things, but I'm just gonna say that it was gecko collideCount, that was the first thing, and weather reset upon death. Now, and you know what? We don't have it. We don't have the weather reset upon a chasm death, but there is no weather in the caverns, so we won't need to flush it unless we have... Yeah, we won't need to flush it unless we want to add that functionality in the future. So this is okay. So we'll commit this. Oh, come on, dude. What the... Do I need to run the key agent, the SSH key agent. I just got a local AI model installed on the computer here, so we're gonna try it out. So how we do it is we say Olama serve, and it's gonna run a 32 billion parameter local AI model that I've installed here. And we do it by saying Olama run the model, which is this Gwen 2.5. And then it's gonna bring up a little prompt, and we can give it a question and says like, me no able to push git commit. The error message you're encountering. Okay. Which SSH keygen? So we're gonna say which SSH keygen. It is user bin keygen. Okay. So it's looking in a user lib, but not a user bin. So, but what I don't get is why this all of a sudden started breaking. But that's okay. The local model is cool that we can ask this thing questions for 24 hours straight and it's fine because it's all local. So that's cool. I'm gonna tell it this. Oh no, not that. Yeah. Yeah, it might. Git just doesn't know for the SSH. So let's do that. Git config git core SSH command. If it returns nothing, it's probably a incorrect path. So let's see. Yeah, nothing. Check for environment variables. The fuck? Nothing. It says we're good for SSH connection, so the fuck, dude. It's just looking in the wrong keygen folder. Okay, well, I did update my Omarchi, so maybe we lost our freaking git config. How do we just view our freaking git config? Okay. Oh, right there. Look, look, look. It's saying GPG SSH program lib SSH. Yeah, we need to change that. Where is this? Git config. Okay, we unset our SSH. We're gonna config the correct folder here. And we do that by saying config global program, and then we give it the path. Okay. And we're gonna try to commit again. It worked. Okay. Okay, sweet. Look at that. Local LLM helping us out. Okay, cool. I should have a window for that. Okay, so we've got... Okay, so now we've got a whole nother issue on our hands now. And the issue is... Since we added collision to our geckos so that they would bump into trees or, you know, collidable map objects, that means we can also push them into a tree. And when two, you know, we're an unstoppable object, unstoppable force, pushing a gecko into a tree, which is another immovable object. And once it gets pushed and crushed, it then goes to resolve that by moving him to the side. So he's off screen right now and he's stuck because he's off screen. So how do we fix this? Something's got to give because the player, I'm pretty sure we made the player the kind of de facto mover. And that means that we can kind of push a gecko up into the wall. I don't know a decent way to fix this because we have it set. Yeah, we could limit the player's DX and DY if we're colliding with the gecko. We can just flush our DX DY. And that would mean that you couldn't walk through geckos, and that would fix the issue. And it would make it so that you couldn't bully geckos by just pushing them, which is probably what I want to do, because right now you can just kind of bully them around by pushing them like that and just kind of get your way. So maybe we do that. Dude, where do my Tmux sessions go? Okay, so I think the move is we look at where we're doing the Tashio hurt, right? So we're gonna say, where do we do Tashio hurt? Player to entity collision here. Okay, so let's try something. Oh, this isn't good because this is saying that we get a knockback of a DX and DY when we get collided with an entity. Yeah. So if we get collided, we get this DX DY. Because this is what happens. This is what gives us the knockback. This is what knocks us back. And I was going to say, oh, let's just flush it to 0. But that means when they hit us, we don't move. But we want to get knocked back to fall into a pit or something like that. So in what scenario do we fix this collision? Like, how do we make it so that we don't push the gecko? What is the factor? There's a colliding to entity factor that makes them not collide and rather just push. But the gecko needs to be unpushable. So let's check out the gecko, I guess, and we'll see. It should be, I mean, the gecko's an entity, so it might be inheriting collision from our entity class. Yeah, so there is, oh, see, look at this, yeah. When do we actually do this? Because this is just defining the thing. Okay. Okay, so we have it defined here in the entity, but we only use it here in the scene. So this is where we're doing this, at least. Player to wall object collision. So why is that? Yeah, there was only one spot we did that. Entity to collidable, gecko to collidable. Yeah. So right here, this is what we're doing. So what's happening is we're cycling through our collidable map objects. Oh, this is weird. Because this is one part. This is the gecko colliding with walls, which we still need. But we need to not update the gecko's position based on Tashio collision. So I don't think it's here, but maybe, well, yeah, because if we add anything here, it'll be affected anytime a gecko's colliding with a wall, which there's few things we want to do at that point, which we're already doing. So there's got to be another thing. There's got to be another thing that we're doing. Yeah, gecko to player. So there's a player to entity collision, and we're saying, well, blah, blah, blah. If it's a gecko, if it's corrupted, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, this is... Okay, so this is different than the scene, right? Because this is the map, but it's doing the same thing where we're saying, well, give us a velocity of a knockback whenever Tashio collides with a thing like a gecko. But you can walk against the grain and kind of force it. We can't just make the velocity 0 here, because then we lose out on the knockback. We could do something. We could do something where we do cycle through the entities, and we do pull out the entity, and then we do some checks if it's corrupted and if it's collided. But what if right here we check directional input, and if there is a directional input and we're colliding, that's when our DX gets flushed. I guess that doesn't really work, because you can, if you're walking towards a gecko, oh yeah, but then you wouldn't be colliding. Okay, let's try that. So if we're colliding with that entity, yeah, I want to say that we need to check the input list, actually the output list, at this point. So let's just try the right collides. Yeah, so now we're going to check our output list. So we're going to use the number operator here to pull out an output list. If there is anything in our global output list, meaning we're holding down a directional walk button. If we're holding down a directional walk button and we're colliding with the gecko, then we're gonna stop our movement. We're gonna stop our movement. The fuck, dude. And we're gonna do that by saying, well, we're gonna go pull our Tashio's DX and our DY, and just flush it to 0, so we have no velocity if there's an output list, if we're holding a directional input when we collide with the gecko. And we're only doing it with right collides, so let's test that. So if if that's working as expected, we should have stopped the ability to push a gecko to the right. Target nil value on 142. Yo, doing well. What's up? How's it going? Oh God. I like that they chase me around the trees now. Oh God. Okay. So we're doing a thing here. Are we not pulling the... Dude, we're doing the same thing here. Right collides. Else if... Let's try to just pull it out here. I believe we have an output list. If we right collide with the entity, we're going to check... Hey, are we... Uh-oh. Let's try that. Oh, we could still push him, man. Oh, but... Oh, yeah, see? We pushed him through the wall. That's not okay. I think the DX and DY is just getting overwritten by whatever keys we're holding. We can go about this a different way, and we can set a little yeah, this is hard for me to think through because there's not a clear solution yelling out to me. Because the issue is when we collide with a gecko, the gecko reads the collision and then it resets so that we're not overlapping. But then it's doing the same thing against a tree, and then if we push it into an immovable object, it gets squished and squished and squished until it's colliding so far with one of us that it moves and teleports to be uncolliding, which is there out of bounds. So I might have to sit on this one and think about it. We definitely need to fix it. Because I like the gecko AI now walking around collidable objects, so we want to keep that. But I'm not sure how to keep it bug-free. So let's see if there's anything else we can do that's on our list. There's so much junk here. I don't know what's out of date. We kind of fell back on keeping up to date with this, but we did a lot. I mean, we got most of our issues. The only issue we didn't get was the window in the castle, which I don't have tiled installed on Linux yet, so we can't do that at the moment. And we also need to fix the new gecko collide sandwich. Teleport. What do we say? Gecko collide. Gecko pushed by Tashio out of bounds against a tree. So we need to figure that out. Okay. So as far as bugs and features go for the demo release, these are the only two I know of right now. So the plan is we'll get these fixed tomorrow, and at that point we'll be able to make the new executables for playtesting, and then we'll ship it out so people can help us playtest and find any potential bugs so that we can fix them. But I'm kind of out of steam and I'm stuck, so I think we'll call it for the night here. Thanks for watching, y'all. We'll find someone to raid out to. Sorry, Salto, I couldn't hang till 3. I wanted to, but good luck with the new chapter, dude. And yeah, I'm gonna pass out, man. Yeah, I mean, I can feel, when I'm talking through the stuff, I can feel, I'm like, dude, just so low energy. It's not it exactly. I don't know who to raid. We'll raid out Suspicious Milk. He's got a interesting little setup. Yeah. Have a good night. Thanks for hanging. I'll catch you tomorrow, and I'll be back tomorrow.